Woke up today and suddenly Diddy is back in the news. I don't know why. I found out why because I got a text from Kay Hill, Kay Smythe Hill. Kay, how are you? Good to see you. First of all,
I'm good, Joe. How are you doing?
I'm living the dream. So Diddy, I don't think got enough punishment. I don't think he was convicted on enough things. I think what he did was disgusting. I don't know if he's involved with intelligence agencies or what the story is. Why I believe that he got some sort of a light sentence and a light shake in court. But now there's some new docu-series. I had no idea that this was out. I do know this. Sam, my daughter, my executive producer, got a hold of me and said, Diddy's really trending right now. Maybe Gabby said so. It's trending on TikTok. And I was like, why? You're going to tell me why. Why is Diddy trending? What the hell's going on?
So Netflix just released their 4-part docu-series
Okay.
on Diddy, made by 50 Cent, and I can't remember his co-producer's name, but she's amazing. And 50 Cent is the most adorable human under the sun. And it's honestly, Joe, it's like these guys spent the last 30 years compiling evidence on Diddy. It is one of the most casually, most relaxing, damning, disgusting, heartbreaking, throwback meets modern day just hell. Everything. It's everything, this 4-part series. Like, I think everyone needs to watch it. It runs chronologically from his childhood, essentially, which I knew nothing about, and how dark and gross it was, but also inherently privileged, all the way through up to today when we see him, basically get the lightest sentence ever. The jury did not come across well in the docu-series, and it's a lot of people in my circles are definitely comparing it to kind of like an OJ situation. A lot of people were preaching, free Diddy, because they didn't really understand the extent to how revolting this man really seems to be. And so I think the docuseries does a great job of showing that. The thing it doesn't show, Joe, is what everyone's talking about behind the scenes, which is the sort of Diddy, Jeffrey Epstein, quote unquote, conspiracy that I would love to get into with you today.
But
If
before
that's
we
all
do
right.
that, I didn't know there was a conspiracy or a possible connection even. But let's start with 50 Cent. I don't know the guy. I mean, I know a little bit of his music. I've seen him in movies. I think he seems cool. I like him because he's from Memphis, and he talked very, very, kindly and very, very, lovingly about Elvis, and I'm a big Elvis guy. So I like that about him. Why is he the one that's producing it? Both of them rappers, P. Diddy, Puff, Dad, whatever the hell his name is, and 50 Cent. What's his name? Something Johnson, right? Why are they at odds with each other? Did he always suspect Diddy of being a bad guy? Were they competitive with each other in the music scene? Why is he the guy who's doing it?
I mean, Diddy probably killed Tupac and Biggie.
I'm
So
sorry,
I
what?
think that's,
I'm sorry, what?
Diddy, he probably did. I think pretty much everyone who watches the series, you're going to come away, I think it's even after episode 1, maybe episode 2, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, he for sure had something to do with this. And if he
Does 50
didn't,
Cent allege that?
everyone does, essentially. Like, Joe, when I tell you this is one of the most damning portrayals I've ever seen of anyone in entertainment, it was like no one could have said anything explicit, and anyone with 2 brain cells to rub together would walk away and be like, this guy killed Tupac, probably for sure, and he almost definitely had something to do with Biggie's death. And if he didn't have something to do with Biggie's death, the way he behaved after Biggie's death was so disgusting that it kind of blows your mind to think that anyone would ever want anything to do with him. But going back to your original question, aside from those 2 things, here's what I know to be true. I have an ex-boyfriend. I have very close girlfriends who know 50 Cent personally, who've known him for a very long time. My ex-boyfriend's been in movies with him. I say ex-boy, guy I dated. Was in movies with him. Worked with a lot of people that I knew back in Los Angeles. I have never, Joe, met a single human being that has anything to say about 50 except for, oh, what a lovely man. What a respectful, kind, loving, generous, down to earth, godly man. Like, he's smart as anything. Like, I love the fact that he, filed for bankruptcy so he didn't have to pay his awful ex all that money. So he's a savvy businessman when it
Right.
comes to that kind of stuff. He's creatively so multi-talented. He hasn't let any of that go to his head. I think he was pretty much the only person that could have gotten this documentary made because he is so respected and beloved by everyone that
That's interesting.
even if he didn't have the personal relationship to the rap industry, I think that I think that's why everyone was comfortable talking to him. Like, he is a safe person to be around because he is a safe person to be around. He doesn't run his business like Diddy does. And we all got invited to those parties back in LA through one way or another. And none of us went because, it was one of those like worst kept secrets.
Right.
It's like, it was just one of those. There was a few people like that who you'd be at the Nobu White party, you get a phone call like, hey, or like someone come up to you like, hey, we're going to Diddy's house, or hey, we're going to so-and-so's house. You all should come hang. And me and my girlfriends would just be like, no, we're literally just going to go home and eat tacos. Like, that sounds like a nightmare, guys. Thanks. But like, we're not those girls.
I want to put some respect on the man's name. It's Curtis Jackson is his real name, not Johnson. Curtis Jackson. I don't know 50 Cent. Again, when I saw an Elvis documentary, I think it was Elvis in the Black community. It's on YouTube that shows his relationship with Black community, because modern day they want to say Elvis was somehow racist. Of course he wasn't, but he was from Memphis, and I was like, wow, this 50 Cent guy is pretty cool. But again, okay, so he may think that Diddy had something to do with the deaths of those two guys. Is that enough for him to do the documentary, or is there something else going on there? I don't want there to be some rap battle. I think that from what I've heard of 50 Cent, he is a real rapper. What I've seen of Sean Combs, more of a music producer who became famous because after Biggie Smalls died, he stole Sting's song, the Police song, Every Breath You Take, and did a rap to that. That's, I think, how he became mainstream for somebody like me. Was there anything else there? I mean, was 50 Cent sitting on this forever going, I have to tell the real story at some point? I mean, I just wonder what made him do it.
So I know a few people who are linked to, and this is not actually the conspiracy I wanted to talk about, but like I know a few people who were linked to everything that was going on with Epstein. And in the same way with like Harvey Weinstein, a couple of other big people in, I would say, politics all the way through to entertainment, there are just people where when you're in those fields, you're just waiting for it all to collapse. So I think everyone was kind of sitting and waiting to see when Diddy's day would come because of the way that he's not just treated women, but treated a lot of men. The guy is psychotic. And so I think you attach a name like 50s to a documentary like this because it authenticates the crap out of it. But this wasn't like a feud-based revenge documentary. Like, this is Curtis Jackson going out, doing what he does really well, which is make movies, make documentaries. This is not the only one he's been involved with. I'm pretty sure he had something to do with the Wu-Tang show. Don't quote me on that, but that was one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Wow.
He does huge amounts of work in entertainment, like huge amounts behind the scenes. And so not only was he well positioned to make this documentary, but he's also got the chops. Like, he's talented enough to put something like this together and to bring people together to tell their stories, like I said, and make them feel safe enough to tell it. It kind of breaks my heart that there isn't really anyone on the Epstein side, and the sort of relationship between the two, or like the thought, Joe, between those two sort of awful men and their stories. Diddy filmed everything that was going on at his freak offs, at these parties, in the same way that Epstein is alleged to have filmed everything. And so when you've got Epstein, who basically controls international politics from a blackmail perspective, within entertainment, or broad spectrum entertainment, you've got Diddy, who controls the other side of it. And they both did it in essentially the same way. And so that's kind of the relationship and the conspiracy that you see between the two. And, they got Epstein. They had no real reason to stop him and what he was doing. Like, the powers that be could have quite easily let him carry on with whatever that was. I don't think we'll ever know the real reason why they suddenly decided that he had to go down. But very quickly, Diddy goes down within like what, less than 5 years
Right.
of Epstein going down.
Yeah,
So
Epstein
you've
was like
got
19. Yeah, it was 5 years.
yeah. So you've got international politics, you've got international entertainment. There's someone, Joe, in my like my sort of like social analysis, whatever you want to call of this, there is someone, some big faceless power player who's sitting there going, now I have all the evidence on all of these people across all of these spectrums. Diddy, I think, probably got too big for his own britches and put himself in a godlike position when he didn't realize that he probably really worked for someone else.
Right.
So all of that evidence, all that footage, all of that stuff disappeared into the ether.
Well, okay. Is there a direct connection between the two, as if they knew each other, worked together, winking and nodded together, or there's a connection in that they were running parallel? One, the music industry and possibly Hollywood. The other one, all of politics globally. Was there any sort of collusion, do you think? Is there any tie there?
I don't think either of those two men was smart enough to ever be introduced to each other in that way. Because that's the other thing. They're both like
Couple of dumb guys.
Gross. Yeah, they're not that smart. They're not that smart. Like you can watch, like you watch the way that like Diddy talks, the way that he put his music together. Like he wasn't good at any of it. He was just violent and scary.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because my whole life, even after that movie came out about the foundation of NWA, I always assumed that Suge Knight, for example, was basically who Diddy is, like this psychotic, violent, nasty, basically leveraged everyone to like him out of violence. I don't want to get into it too much on the show today, but I actually have a really, really close family connection to Suge Knight that is very close.
How is that
very
possible? You've got a
me.
connection to everybody. How is this possible?
I know. Honestly, I have no idea how this happened, but one of my first friends that I ever made in California is part of the Knight family.
Wow.
Now. And so,
well, what happens when this guy gets out? I mean, was he involved with P. Diddy? I know that he was the guy that was shaking down people like Vanilla Ice and everybody else, but I mean, he was in control for a while of that industry, it seemed. Did they need him out of the way so that Diddy could do it? I mean, is there a connection there?
Yeah, there's like definitely a connection there, but Suge Knight, like what I realize now and what I've like seen firsthand, a really nice guy, like in a lot of ways, like loves his family, cares for his family, takes care of his family. We got to see that side of him in this documentary. He was well liked by a lot of people. Now, I'm not disputing the claims that he's, you know, done some violent stuff.
Right.
That's that industry. But Suge, there was, okay, so like here's one story that they tell in the documentary that I like paused and replayed because I was like, what? So Suge, his friend, Diddy, and I don't even know who else, walking out of a restaurant. Guy walks up, he's got one hand behind his back, pulls out a gun, looks Suge dead in the eye, and shoots Suge's friend 5 times.
Wow.
Suge, intellectual, the man was, grabs Diddy and uses him as like body armor, if you will, literally.
A human shield, yeah.
Human shield. And I paused it and I looked at John, my husband, and I said, he knew that Diddy was the one that wanted to shoot him. He just knew. And he knew that that guy wasn't going to shoot Diddy to shoot Suge because Diddy was his payday. I put money on it.
Wow.
And I don't even know if they like explicitly said that in the documentary, but like Suge was smart enough within those, I don't know, within the industry, within like, you know, it's not even that. It's almost like he understands people in a way that Diddy clearly doesn't. That's why he has to abuse people to keep them near him. Right. He wasn't talented enough to push his way into fame the way that he did. He screwed over his friends. It sounds like he screwed over most of the people that worked for Bad Boy Records. Like, he wasn't a natural leader. He had to threaten to get his way into everything. And so I think, yeah, for sure, it's a parallel with Epstein. I think that if there is any crossover, it's whoever's above them being like that puppeteer, right? Let him get away with it for as long as they did, 30 plus years.
Well, who do we assume that is? Is it somebody governmentally here in the United States? Is it a globalist WEF thing? I mean, is it the Rothschilds that I keep hearing about? I mean, are they still pulling the strings? I mean, do you have an opinion on who Is there a monarch on top of this? Is there a cabal? Is there a star chamber? Who's running the joint?
You're going to hate me for saying this, but I know
go.
a few Rothschilds. It's not them.
Oh, stop
Those
it.
are
I used to date the
nice
Rothschilds back in LA.
Oh my God, it was one date. No,
Come
no,
on.
but like, yeah, no, I know the Rothschilds. It's not them. They, I think,
Is there a group? Is there a board of directors on mayhem and control? I mean, what are we looking at here?
I think whoever it was probably the same people that were in on, the Hillary Clinton push, who were in on, it's like the whole thing. Like anytime you talk about the Clintons, you have to say you're not suicidal, and then. Right. Like Epstein gets what happened to him in prison, and everyone knows he didn't kill himself, type thing. So I think that there's like a spider web of people. I don't think it's just one person.
Sounds very Soros-esque.
Sounds very well. I don't see. Again, I look at Alex Soros, and
I used to date the Soros boys.
No, I'd rather eat my own face. But thank you.
But your assumption is. Just because you love the conspiracy stuff and you're very good at it, and it's actually conspiracy is not a pejorative word to me. I mean, people do conspire. Conspiracies really can be true, and many of them are. So, in looking at it, you would say not a singular person, probably more of a board of directors or a gang or a group.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's, I don't want to go like full Alex Jones and be like, it's the globalists. And I also don't want to, go full like, a lot of these YouTube guys, they always like consistently point the finger at Mossad. They point the finger at CIA.
Right.
All these different groups. And I'm just like, I don't think, dude, I live on a farm with like 10 cats and a bunch of chickens. And I hang out in my pajamas like most of the day if I don't have to leave the house. I'm not gonna know who that group is. Like I am not in that prime position to know who that group's gonna be, what they're called, if it's one person, if it's 10. I don't know. What I do know, just like through common sense, is that there's clearly been a massive changing of the guard in whatever that cabal is.
Right.
In I would say like 8 years. I think it's been like a stealth thing. Like I want to go back to 2017. That's when I really started to see the shift in this stuff. And then, 2019, we had Epstein. We had all the Diddy stuff come out. We had, and that's just progressed over the last 5 years. We've seen so many like, I don't know about you, but like I'll sit down to watch YouTube and John and I will play like a guessing game of like, which who do you think's paying them? Do you think it's CIA? Do you think it's MI6? Do you think it is Mossad? Like, do you think
Sounds
it's
like a
this?
fun
Do you
game.
think it's that? There's only, well, this is why I like to do my agent history stuff, because there's no one co-opting us in that field.
Right.
And I think you're one of the very few unbought, unpaid for
I'm so
journalists
unbought.
out there.
I'll show you my
Truly,
bank
Joe.
account. I am not bought. I will show you. I'm not getting $7,000 per post or whatever the hell the allegation is. At the end of the day, we just want truth. I think that human beings, we just crave the truth, and we're having such a hard time getting it because it seems as though everything we uncover, there are more and more layers to it, and hopefully we can get to the root of it before I die. At some point. Kay, you're amazing. I'd never thought about a possible connection, not that they were connected directly, between what Epstein was doing, what Diddy was doing, the timing of it all. The Rothschilds not involved, you say, but did Diddy, was he involved in killing two people? And then you got Suge Knight. I mean, the whole thing was very, very interesting, but we're just frankly out of time. We have to do more of this. We have to watch the documentary.
There's a lot of personal stuff I shared today. I appreciate it.
Turns out you dated everybody who's anybody, or there's a connection. There's just one date.
I was fun in my 20s. I was having the time of my life. I was fun. I prefer my life now, but I was, I was a young little cute thing. I was having fun in LA.
Young, little, and cute. Absolutely right. Kay, you're the best. We'll talk to you again very soon.
Thanks, Joe.
All right. We're back after this. Stay right here.